Of course, Jesus turned that one around 180 degrees. In the New American Bible Revised Edition, Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. That should be translated, full of honor, the mediators, those who head off blood feuds. For they will be called children of God, which should be clients of the patron, the God of Israel. Genuine Israelites are honored. Nonviolent response is really a 180-degree turn in that kind of honor code. What does the steward do? He says that he's not strong enough to dig and he's too ashamed to beg. The steward almost recognizes that he has been given a death sentence if he is fired. Recall that the average life expectancy of someone who lost connections and who drifted away from the cities, into the cities, as a day laborer was only 18 months. If he loses his honor and position as steward, and among the retainer class, he will quickly be forced to become a day laborer, and quickly from there fall into begging, and soon after will die. So the steward is in a lot of trouble. What's his solution? By canceling the huge debts owed the master, the shrewd steward reverses the entire social dynamic of the parable. His master now will be praised everywhere by everyone. The master will now be seen as incredibly generous. His damaged honor has been restored many times over.
Why wouldn't the steward go to the master prior to that rather than just secretly doing it?
He's a good steward. He knows his master. He doesn't need permission for it. That also saves his master face. If he were to go to his master and say, I'm going to do this to you, do I have your permission to do this? What, you think of me as a fool who doesn't manage my own money? Everything in this, listen, in the Middle East, this is kind of how it is, folks. You say one thing and you do another. That's like Jesus' parables. You say one thing and you mean 180 degrees and completely the opposite. Call no man fools, Jesus says. Jesus, call no man fools. Then later on in the story, you blind fools! Wait, Jesus, I thought you don't insult anybody. Don't call anybody fools. Oh, that's right, you're Middle Eastern. I forgot. You say one thing, you mean the other. Why do you do that? Because they're not bad. This is not, please, I don't mean this like we're honest over here. I'm saying you say one thing, yeah, to your in-group, you say one thing. Who do they say that I am? Who do you say that I am? That's how it is. Look, there's a lot of things you're going to find when you understand the world, the culture world of the Bible, they're not going to sit well with you because you're culturally programmed different.
Right.
But guess what? If we're going to take the in incarnation seriously and the in inspiration seriously, then we got to be right. And we also have to realize that the same Spirit is talking to us and communicating with us, and we're going beyond this. But we got to start here. We can't pretend, make believe. If we believe in the incarnation, that has ramifications. So, this is why the master commends the steward for having given him back far more than he lost. Don't do that, wink, wink. You did good. You did real good. Note, the master has been trapped, by the way. He cannot reverse the debt relief without reaping a firestorm of public shame.
Right.
Right? Imagine if he said, no, he was wrong. He did that out of my permission.
Right.
Whoa! Now you're 18 times worse than what you were now praised as. No, you can't do that. Look at what the master... See, and guess what? It's not about money in the Middle East, in the Mediterranean world. It's never been. It's about honor. It's about honor. Look at what the master does. He says basically, you gave away my money, but you recognized that my reputation was more important, and you rescued it. Well done. So it turns out that this master is a guy who does not consider money as something so important. he considers honor and good behavior as being more important than wealth.
What?
Honor is the reward for virtue, says Aristotle. And even though cornered, this man now has sky-high honor in the village.
And he's still not poor.
Right. Why would Jesus tell a story about debt relief? It's amazing to look at all the literature on this story in our Western civilization and find nowhere does anyone pick up on the fact that this is a story about canceling debts. It is certainly not a story about being prudent. It is certainly not a story about quick, decisive action. It's ridiculous. It's a story about canceling debts and about what kinds of celebrations that would cause and what kind of honor that brings. And it is about a rich man who is a person of virtue, who recognizes the value of forgiveness of debt and mercy. The restored honor of the master, a character in the story expected by Jesus' peasant audience to be the bad guy, turns out ratifying the gift to the debtors. He saved the position of the steward, creates great joy for the debtors, and acquires great honor. This is a reason why a village would celebrate. In antiquity, anyone who received the windfall was expected to share it with the village. These merchants have just received a huge windfall. They would be expected to share their largesse with the villagers. So we have a story implying honor increase and sheer joy and relief, and it all comes from canceling debts. Could Jesus be commenting on his own prayer? Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Look at the joys and relief and rejoicing that this act of canceling debt brings. Contrary to the ways in which most Western commentators have treated this story, it is likely that Jesus has illustrated what can happen when debt forgiveness occurs in a village. It's a win-win situation. The master regains his honor, the steward keeps his position and status and even gains honor. People in debt rejoice and are relieved, becoming patrons to villagers who receive gifts from the largesse. Truly, the forgiveness of debts changes the dynamics of the entire situation. In our Bible Alive studies, this parable was treated last, not only because it is so difficult to understand, but to show how many of the parables of Jesus illustrate things we say all the time in the Lord's Prayer, the Pater Noster. Here's a culturally plausible translation of the Our Father in Matthew. This is how you are to pray. Our Patron, who is in the sky vault, be in truth who you really are. Achieve theocracy definitively on earth as it is in sky vault. Give us tomorrow's bread today. Cancel our debts as we cancel our debtors. Preserve us in the honor test. Deliver us from the evil one. If you let go the fallings of human beings, your sky vault patron will let go of yours. But if you do not, then neither will your patron forgive your failings. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. These are the realities of peasant life. And they are gospel. They are good news. They make the poor do somersaults. There is no good news in telling someone to be quick thinking and be prudent. That's more likely to create ill will and pissed off feelings. But there is great good news in being told your debts have been canceled. So now you also cancel the debts of those who owe you.